In an email obtained by NNN, members of Chi Omega were told they should report feeling bullied or harassed to the university.
Lake Michigan is consistently the deadliest of the Great Lakes. This year, at least 38 people have drowned in these waters.
According to IFC, the party was on the night of January 18th. After the party, the term super spreaders spray painted on this wall. 9 out of the 11 remaining chapters are holding informal recruitment. Remnants of the pre-COVID era remain in windows, but across Evanston, many of the businesses remain closed for good as the unemployment rate surges across Illinois.
It started with a tweet that, once shared in the Class of 24's GroupMe chat, revealed rumors of a freshman who had allegedly paid another student to take their COVID test for them.
A report from the American Bookstore Association from late last year says nearly 20% of independent bookstores are in danger of going out of business. While it may feel like spring blooms overnight, planning and planting for 240 acres of Evanston campus is actually quite a process. And the love for Margarita is real. People post Yelp reviews calling her a gem and saying they come to this store because of her.
Last week, Northwestern saw 51 new positives. 27 of those cases were undergrads, instead sending a statement saying several projects, including the Commons, were placed on hold due to financial constraints in 2018.
6 faculty members, including Winiger, writing an open letter to Provost Kathleen Haggerty saying they're, quote, embarrassed on behalf of the university.
The IRS says they do not use email, text messages, or social media to discuss tax debts or refunds.
Polisky is one of 4 named defendants, plus Northwestern itself, in a lawsuit.
Wynn estimates that in 6 days, more than 500 essays were reviewed by more than 200 active editors from around the country.
NNN, the city dismissed the citations due to, quote, evidence unavailable at the time of the hearing.
Underclassmen are back on campus. Our campus COVID cases going up. Tonight on our special Chicago show, a push to vaccinate all Chicagoans. We sit down with those tackling vaccine hesitancy.
I just love what I do.
Plus, we spend a morning with a Chicagoan who just can't help her desire to help others.
We talk with President-elect Christian Wade about his priorities for the upcoming term.
I scream, you scream, everyone's screaming about getting into the ice cream business these days, and it's actually causing a freezer shortage. NBC News Now correspondent Dasha Burns has the scoop from Ventnor, New Jersey.
Everybody wants to be a business owner, but they forget you got to wash buckets, you got to take the trash out, you got to clean everything. It never ends. It just piles up until you do it yourself.
Ralph Pappas was a DJ when COVID-19 hit the pause button on his Atlantic City gigs. Now he's the owner of his own ice cream shop in Ventnor, New Jersey. Willow's Way, named after his dog.
I've never worked in the food industry. I've never made ice cream before. I've never even scooped an ice cream. I learned all of this in the past few months.
Regulating freezer temperatures, managing staff, and actually making the ice cream and Italian ice. Some favorites are blueberry cheesecake and black raspberry truffle. Pappas is doing it all.
I'm here at 8 in the morning and I leave at 12 at night.
And he's not the only one open for business. Those in the industry say the cold dessert has never been, well, hotter.
We've put on probably 50% more new customers in the last 18 months than we did since we've been in business.
The increase in demand, coupled with a global shortage of shipping containers, is leading to an equipment problem.
And it was the end of February we ordered them. I didn't receive them till the first week of June. So I missed the Memorial Day weekend opening.
The big demand for ice cream lasts only a few months in much of the country. So the lack of a freezer for several weeks can have huge financial consequences.
It's super hard. I'm on the phone all day, every day with, millions in dollars in sales, and people are waiting for their freezer. And it's like, I don't know yet. I can't tell you when I'm going to ship it.
Never had so much business and never had so much difficulty getting anything done.
Kelly Smith's company supplies freezers to a range of customers, from local retailers like Willow's Way to bigger venues like Disney. He says through the first half of the year, there's been a 30% increase in sales compared to 2020, but a 15% decrease in volume out the door. His biggest issues?
suppliers, and labor. Trying to get staffed up. It was impossible. Normally we bring in temps in the spring and summer. Where'd all these kids go?
While employment for high school students who often scoop your ice cream is similar to pre-pandemic summer levels, employment is still down for 20 to 54-year-olds.
You find skilled guys, it's like a bidding war.
Still, much like the wait outside an ice cream store, for Pappas, the wait was worth it.
It's really like a cool community product to offer, and that was the difference between like DJing and ice cream. So I actually have a product that I can promote and kind of just tweak it to my personality, essentially.
Enjoy. Thank you.
The Old Boys Network's got to go. Hey, hey.
Faculty and students marched together today, protesting the appointment of Mike Polisky as NU's new athletic director.
It is time to get rid of the Old Boys Network and to support students and to support faculty, particularly around issues of gender and racial equity.
Polisky is one of 4 named defendants, plus Northwestern itself, in a lawsuit filed by an NU cheerleader. She alleges Polisky dismissed her sexual assault allegations. Northwestern is motioning to dismiss the individual defendants, including Polisky.
So for me, it's my love for Northwestern, and it's seeing them regress and go backwards and in the wrong direction. I feel like I have a platform to speak, and so I'm just using that platform because I really care about this institution and I want it to be better.
A petition with more than 1,000 signatures as of Friday evening calls for a, quote, independent investigation into whether Polisky acted lawfully and with integrity when responding to cheerleader complaints. If misconduct is discovered, the petition demands Polisky's employment be terminated immediately.
The support of athletics cannot come at the expense of students' safety.
Professor Jessica Winiger says it's time for Northwestern to walk the walk when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Our main message is that Northwestern needs to change.
6 faculty members, including Winiger, writing an open letter to Provost Kathleen Haggerty, saying they're, quote, embarrassed on behalf of the university at Polisky's appointment.
I am deeply ashamed that they essentially knees on the ground by appointing this guy.
Unlike so many of the protests this year, this march was organized by faculty members, not students. Winiger says faculty members have a responsibility to have their students' backs.
We care about Northwestern and we care about students.
In a community message Thursday, President Shapiro says, quote, Northwestern denies that it or any of its current employees violated any laws. NU declined an interview and referred NNN to that message. Winiger says continuing to push the university for transparency is key.
We want Northwestern to be the university it promises to be.
Walk through the revolving door at the CVS on Sherman.
Hi guys, you found what you were looking for?
And if you're lucky, you'll be greeted by 78-year-old Margarita Minetas.
Don't you want your receipt?
Margarita took this job at CVS nearly a decade ago after a career in banking and the loss of her beloved husband.
I love it because I have adopted all of you. You are my grandchildren and you are my children.
And for students who are far from home, a doting motherly figure might just be the prescription they didn't know they needed.
Yeah, that's it's kind of exciting to have more of a community here than expected when you first arrive.
Margarita's found family extends to her CVS colleagues.
And I love the co-workers that I have here. I see it as a family.
And the feeling is mutual.
She's like grandma to everybody.
But she's proudest of her own children, military vets, and her grandchildren.
This is my daughter, this is Sophia, and that's Wesley.
Margarita loves Greek music, chocolate, and NCIS almost as much as she loves making customers feel lovely.
And your lovely receipt, your lovely drink. May I have your lovely phone number?
But most of all, she loves making new friends.
Here you are, my friends. It's like a gift for me. It gives me life.
And the love for Margarita is real. People post Yelp reviews calling her a gem and saying they come to this store because of her.
Oh my God bless you. Oh my God, I love you. I mean, literally, my babies.
Even if interactions with Margarita are short, she leaves an impression that lasts longer than those infamous CVS receipts.
She makes the place friendly and accessible, and it's a CVS store. You don't expect someone like her to be here and to be so warm and welcoming.
Margarita is, at her core, a people person.
You all give me strength.
With no plans for retirement.
No.
No?
No.
Not at all.
Not right now, no. Never crossed my mind.
Margarita trusts people will keep shopping in person, if only to check in on her at checkout. In Evanston, Joey Safchik.
Thank you always very much.
Northwestern News Network.
People waiting in line to file for unemployment and to get groceries from a food bank. Images that have become all too familiar during the pandemic. But despite this, poverty is expected to drop this year.
It is a very surprising result.
An Urban Institute report projects a poverty rate of 7.7% this year, which a New York Times analysis found is a record decline of 45% since 2018.
The difference is not only the regular government benefits, but also all those additional government benefits, including the stimulus checks, the advanced child tax credits, and the expansions of the regular programs.
Many of those expanded programs related to food. The Urban Institute researchers found that the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP or food stamps, will keep 7.9 million people out of poverty this year. But as the country enters a new phase of the pandemic, the expanded food safety net is undergoing changes.
Well, the federal government is upping SNAP benefits. SNAP is formerly known as the food stamp program. In October, the USDA will increase benefits by 25% from pre-pandemic levels.
Advocates say the permanent increase to SNAP benefits is much needed.
We know that for far too long, SNAP just had not really kept up with the times.
But other programs are seeing their pandemic expansion sunsetted, like Yoni Yara's, whose Cherry Hill, New Jersey site is distributing more than 60,000 weekly meals, with lines out of the parking lot.
Wow, we've actually made a difference. It's not a theoretical difference. We have actually made a difference for these families.
The site is funded by the Summer Food Service Program, giving out boxes with food for breakfast and lunches. As school openings remained inconsistent, the Trump administration extended the program to run the entirety of the last school year.
Thank you so much.
Now, the Biden administration is returning to its normal summer schedule, shifting the resources exclusively to in-school meals, meaning homeschooled students who were eligible under that expanded eligibility are going to be out of luck soon.
This is a massive equity problem. It is not inclusive.
The USDA said, quote, the school meals programs were never intended, nor are they authorized by Congress to serve children who do not attend school. The administration points families to other programs like SNAP, but paperwork can be a barrier.
I used to work for the federal government. I know bureaucracies, and I still couldn't navigate it appropriately.
Karen Cohen has 4 children. When her husband lost his job last spring, she said applying to SNAP was a 6-month back-and-forth paperwork process. By the time her husband eventually got back to work, they still hadn't received the benefits. In the meantime, they've been receiving the weekly food boxes.
If legislators don't find a way to extend this program, our food costs will become astronomical. We will always make sure our children are fed, but it will mean that we make choices about other expenses, some of which are essential expenses.
The USDA announced for the upcoming school year that it will reimburse students and child care centers for free meals to all students, regardless of their income. Maine and California will continue the universal meals even after this school year. Equity and choice is key.
One of the biggest barriers to helping people is that people don't want to identify themselves. They feel ashamed, they feel like they'll be judged.
We know that now that by making these programs more accessible, making them more adequate, and providing people that choice is a game changer.